Hello and welcome, my friends, to this podcast about all kinds of woolly and yarny things and makings. My name is Doug, and I'm coming to you from Albuquerque in New Mexico, and I am also the dyer behind Shawls. I want to start off with showing this sweater. You've seen it before. It is the True Friend designed by Vera Valimaki, which I made a good while ago, and I have pulled up the information here. I used 3.5 millimeter needles and 4 millimeter needles. And the yarn that was kind of interesting because I used Mirasol Nuna, and I held it together with a lace yarn that I had dyed to match because I really wanted to use that yarn, but I did not get gauge, so I combined it with a lace and it worked out wonderfully. I managed to match the colors pretty well, and it's a sweater which is, in my book, a very flattering cut for somebody who's not super tall. It's kind of short, but not too short, and it's wider, and it has the tight sleeves that I love. Yes, so that's the sweater, and you may recall that I have been to a knitting retreat in the meantime, Knit One Hike to organized by Knitting New Mexico, my friend Lauren, and we had Selma from Canada as our fantastic teacher, and it was a wonderful group of people, and I came back very nourished. I don't know, does that make sense in your book? To me, it makes perfect sense because I feel like I found a balance. I was able to hike pain-free for the first time in a very long time. And I met wonderful people, and there was a wide variety of knitting styles and clothing styles that people wore and that people brought and showed. And of course the class, not of course, but I mean, I'm telling you, the class that Selma taught was just incredibly useful. And she has made so many sweaters throughout her knitting life that she was able to teach us really a lot about adjusting sweaters, sweater patterns, and about modifications that you can do to fit your personal needs. Yeah, I really enjoyed that very, very much. And I wanted to show you do I show it now or at the end? Well, I'll show you at the end for those of you who may not be interested. I'm going to jump right into my current projects and whatever I have finished in the meantime, because I also went on another trip with my husband, and there was a lot of driving involved. We went to Texas, and so he drove and I knit. Good deal. Yes. I have finished on this trip my Halloween socks right in time for Halloween. And this is the yarn, Shawls, in a one-of-a-kind Halloween colorway, which is very much like the Halloween colorway, the Heart of the Witch, that I came up with. But I didn't want to take anything out of the shop. Thank you to all who got that yarn. And yes, this is my leftover. I used my towel space, which is a 80/20 Corriedale base, and the weight of the yarn is, it's a it's fingering weight, but the skein weighs a generous 4 ounces, which is great. So I made mine a little bit taller, and I'm not sure if I would have enough for a full pair of socks, but maybe shorties. And if you wonder how my socks look like, sorry, I can't show you because the socks have vanished. I have no idea where I put them. I wore them, I washed them, I dried them. They are not in my sock drawer. I have no idea what happened with those socks. No clue. Well, if I find them again before next Halloween, I will certainly show you. I don't know. Yes, what next? I just finished these guys, another pair of Duke City mitts. And if you are not aware, we are currently having in the Zia Wools group on Ravelry, I am hosting the Duke Mania 2023. Duke City Mitts, free pattern by myself. I am PAPERDAG on Ravelry, so you can find that through my page. And if you enter in the group, if you're a member of the group and you enter in that thread and participate, you have a chance to win a prize when the Duke Mania 2023 ends on December 3rd, I believe. That's when my personal Duke Mania ends, because that's the day of the High Desert Studio Tour, which happens in my neighborhood, where you can come and visit my home and look at what I've been making where I live, where I work, and shop for some Christmas presents. And I'm also again gonna have a potter here, Sarah of Southwest Sunflower Pottery, as well as my friend Laura, who is a rug hooker and who also makes all kinds of beautiful hooked items that she will have available on that day. I have already started the next Dukes. One of them is done. These are so cute with that fuzzy material. I hope you can see that. And the color variation. This is a commercial yarn. Old stash find, which I believe may have been a gift from someone who had it left over from a cardigan, if I remember it right. I think it may have been a Knit Picks yarn, an alpaca blend. And also this was a gift from my dear Doris. I think it was a bit too blue for her taste, and it was just a leftover skein that she had been gifted. And so these two together are just such a great match. I'm on the second one, and just a few more rounds on the hand and then the thumb, and that's done. The other ones I have steam blocked with a towel in between under the iron, and then I let them dry on the ironing board. These I may not do anything because they lie flat so nicely. Yeah. What else? What else? You may say, Doug, what did you work on the trip? Because I did not even take any Dukes on the trip. So I told you I finished the Halloween socks. And oh yes, let me show you this first. another item that I only worked on a little bit more before I left, and that is the Laura beanie. It's a pattern that I got on Ravelry, and her name is Shara. The pattern company name maybe is Shara Made. And yeah, you can knit this with decay or with fingering yarn. And I picked some yarns that are a souvenir yarn that I brought from Alaska. And yes, I got really far in the meantime. I told you last time, oh my gosh, I need full brain capacity when I work on this. So usually that's in the morning with my first coffee. Well, I usually have only one coffee, so never mind me. So I have my coffee and I knit maybe 2 rounds on this. As you can see, I'm not far ahead, and this lives in a bag by Hawthorne Cottage, Kate. And it's kind of funny because I know that my friend Therese, who gifted me the bag, was in Ireland for a knitting retreat where she got this for me for my birthday a few years ago. And that's been a retreat where Jean was. Hi, Jean. Who was at the retreat, came from so far away, and also Selma. Yeah. And of course, Lauren. Let's not forget Lauren. Yeah, so funny how this sometimes all things come together. Yeah. So that was my beanie in progress, but I've also continued working on a shawl that I showed you last time, and the shawl has since moved into this gorgeous project bag, which was a sweet and kind gift from Selma that she brought to the organizers of the knitting retreat, and I was lucky enough to get one too because I participated kind of, not in the planning of the retreat, but I dyed up the goodie bag yarns, which you will see later. And in my bag is now the Locatelli shawl, the Ziggy. And I modified it and switched it to a two yarn. How can I say that? A two. Well, I didn't do it just with one yarn, but I decided I wanted to use Shawls honeysuckle. This is one of my favorite of all time colorways, and except for when I'm in a bright mood. And this is a velvet. It's the baby Suri alpaca silk blend in a lace weight. So this is fingering weight honeysuckle with cashmere and silk, and it's called Ice Flowers. And this is one that's dyed to match. I'm not sure if any of these are in the shop right now. I feel like there may be. Sorry, I'm not up to date with that, but there will be a shop update coming soon, and if you are interested, I would highly recommend to sign up for the Shawls newsletter. You can do that on my website, shawls.com. And this is where I am right now with this beautiful shawl. I'm using 4mm needles the way she tells you to in the pattern, and I feel like after this lace section I have one more of the fuzzy section and then one more lace section. Let's take a look if how it ends even. Definitely ends with a lace section. Yeah, this is a nice project, and I'm looking forward to getting that done. In between, I decided to cast on the shawl, a shawl with my very first Halloween colorway, which was combined with I call it a dirty orange, in a bag forever in my, not the garage stash, but the house stash. So kind of like, so I keep on seeing it occasionally, and I kept thinking, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And finally, I decided now I will find a pattern, and I chose the dandelion shawl. And goodness, so Melina Brell is the woman's name who wrote this pattern, and Heathland Knits is another one of her handles. And let's see, show me the shawl, how it's gonna look like. This is the pattern, the dandelion shawl, and the yarn is Witch Stitch. And this is the one where I said this is my very first Halloween colorway. That was, I didn't even have my labels back then. So that must be 7 years old, maybe. Yeah. And it's not very typical for me because it's very kind of like dark and somber and subdued, but I really like it very much. And if you know me, I'm kind of brutal at times. I just go for it, knowing that I can, if necessary, replicate a colorway. Even though this one, I really had no clue what the yarn was. It was only a partial skein. I think I had 85 grams. And I wanted this one right at the beginning. And I did not pay attention that I needed more of the orange, but whatever. So this is where I am right now. It's already quite big. Sorry about the scrunched upness, because I have a quite short needle. And look at this yarn. Oh, I just love it so much. Yeah, I love the combination, love the yarns. And I just remember I gotta tell you this. So here I have this pattern going, and then this is more of a, it's not a stockinette, but let's call it a almost stockinette. And then comes in orange, dirty orange, that lace pattern section, and then another almost stockinette section. But that was in the way the pattern is written, I would have had to make, I think, 2 or 4 more rows with the orange. Excuse me. So what I did, I just started earlier with this section, and I kept going with this mesh section until I had the stitch count that was required for the next dirty orange section. Well, since I had run out of yarn, I dyed some yarn, which I kind of like, it was kind of cool because I went by what I had in my head, how the color was supposed to look, and I think it turned out really good because that's it. So I did not take the shawl to my dye studio, but I just thought even if it's a little bit different, it's going to be okay because it's a whole, I'm not changing to the new color within one of these stripes, but it's going to be a totally new stripe. And even if it turns out different, it's going to look like it was supposed to be different. So yeah, this is just dry. I just took it off the drying rack, and so I can wind it and get back to this. And it lived in one of my favorite Halloween bags that I made a few years ago, the witch undies. Yay. Yep. Because of course you all may or may not know that I love witches, and this is the witch stitch. When I came back from Ghostranch, I was so fired up to start a sweater. So or a cardigan. I have the Lito cardigan, or Litho. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but I think it's a Lito, which I will tackle once again soon. I'm just looking at a bug crawling up the wall out there. Sorry, very distracting. But I thought, I'm not going to do that when I'm on the trip. Maybe I need some needles or something that I didn't bring. So I'm not going to do that. And I had also possibly shown you this one already. And in the meantime, I have dyed the yarn for this main color, orange. I didn't purposely try to match it. I just wanted a bright orange. And this is a bright orange also. But I wanted to combine it not with a yellow the way she did it there, but bam, pink. So I just dyed up 2 skeins of this just in case. And I have my orange, and this is way too much yarn, way more than I'm gonna need. But I'll see how that works. The gauge is 27 stitches with 3.3 millimeter needles. Well, I don't have that. I may use 3 millimeter needles. Whatever, I will see. I'm not that far ahead. But what I like is that the sweater has a similar cut like this one, actually, coming to think of it. Yeah. Excuse me. What next? I showed you that. I showed you one sweater in planning, but then I dug into my stash of hand-spun yarns. There were several lovers of rustic yarns at the knitting retreat and kind of like more woolly. And I thought, that's actually a great idea. I do have some woolly yarns, whatever woolly means even, but just not hand dyed. Let's put it that way, not hand dyed. And you may recall this. Sorry, it's a bit scrunched up. I have purchased the fibers for this from the Barefoot Spinner in I think 2018 at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. And this is all wool. I had to sneeze again. The fibers were a blend of a beige and a pale brown and kind of nicely variegated. And I thought, it's so gorgeous. It's so soft. I will move out of my comfort zone and buy something not typically colorless for me. But of course, as I was done spinning, I realized that's just, I probably would not wear it. So I over dyed it in green. And then I also thought, this is very thin. Maybe I should combine it with some velvet. So the Baby Suri alpaca silk blend. But then I changed my mind because, yeah, I feel like the velvet didn't get its chance to shine. It was taken away by the handspun, but also the handspun was overpowered by the fuzzy velvet, and I did not want to dilute either of these two. And so I came, so this is how it all ended up, and I have a nice sweater amount of this in probably a heavy fingering. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, I don't know, that's the way I like to spin. And this is where I keep my notes. And this is, I just show you for funsies. This is what I work with when I make up my own pattern. And I did this while we were on the road. So after I had run out of the dirty orange for the dandelion shawl, I decided now is the time that I will tackle my new sweater. I wanted to make a top-down raglan, and I had my my swatch, which actually I had another one that I ripped out already, and I thought my gauge, the preferred gauge was was with a 2.5 millimeter needles, but once I started knitting the neck, I realized no, it's too stiff. And so I thought, okay, I'm gonna go back to the drawing board and come up with my neckline with a 3 millimeter needles, and that's what you see right now. I have started in the back, and now I'm kind of working back and forth to get a little bit of a neckline in the front. And but after I had pulled the needles from the first version with the 2.5 millimeter needles, I put this on my neck, and I thought, oh, this is scratchy. I need to make a bigger neckline so I'm going to be able to wear a shirt under it, and the shirt covers all the skin under, and the sweater is going to go over the shirt. Oh my gosh, yeah, that was too scratchy. Yeah, it was a bit of a pain because I had done all the math with the 2.5 millimeter needles and my gauge swatch, and then I had to redo everything for the new needle size. But now I'm going, and this will slowly grow. And I'm excited that I'm finally working with some of my handspun yarns. And now let's get back to the knitting retreat. Like I said, I'm gonna show you some photos from the retreat, and in case this is something that interests you, for for the future. I will not say who the teacher is going to be next year, because that's up to my friend Lauren, who organizes the retreat. But I can already tell you, this is where you will find all the information. Knitting New Mexico, that's online. The website, well, I think she said she's soon gonna, oh, that's funny. I had considered using this for the shawl. Forgot about that. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't, because this is a shimmer. And I don't know, I was not too happy with the idea of combining a shimmer yarn with the dandelion, for the dandelion shawl. So everybody got a card by artist Catherine Pelletier. All of the cards are knitting related. And I bought a few extras. So pretty. And then we also got from Yank Your Yarn stitch markers and a progress keeper. So pretty. And we all got a notebook from Yarning. Yarning is the new yarn store in Albuquerque, which is owned by Laura, who also helped with organizing the knitting retreat. And what else? Oh yes, this is something that I gave out at the retreat. A little goodie bag to everybody as a thank you for supporting my small business and for for inviting me with my pop-up shop. And it had a mini skein, a QR code, sorry, spaced out there, and a sticker with the Shawls logo, and a little card, a little photo card. I love making these, and I send them out with my orders. If you ever order online from me, I love to use these. And this is the retreat colorway. So everybody who participated got one of these. When it's something that has a lot of colors, where hopefully everybody can enjoy. Yeah, everybody finds something that they love, with the pink and the blue and the earthy brown elements and a little bit of speckles, but not too much. Yeah, I'm very happy with how this turned out. Yes, and this is it. And now I will show you some of the pictures I took at the knitting retreat. I hope you will enjoy those, and I will see you again in a little while. And be well and happy knitting. Bye.